Welcome to the Moisky News for April 6th, 2020. On Saturday, the 4th of April 2020, a new leader was chosen, finally at long last, and the votes were as follows. In third place, Lisa Nandy, with 75,597, which is 16.2% of the overall votes cast. In second place, Rebecca Wrongdaly, with 135,218 votes, which is 27.6% of the votes, I should now say. Lisa got less votes than I expected and Rebecca got more than I expected. In first, with 275,780, which is 56.2% of the overall voter pool, Sir Keir Starmer, who is now the new leader of the Labour Party. F in the chat for Jeremy Corbyn if you have any respect for him. Good riddance if you don't. In his victory statement via video, Keir Starmer has apologised for the stain of anti-Semitism, pledged to tear out those very roots in fact, and said that his success would be measured on if Jews came back to Labour, along with promising to work constructively in opposition and hopes to be able to take the party into government in 5 years' time. Since winning, he has obviously received a phone call from Boris and agreed to meet next week, which may not happen now. I think if it does, it will be with Dominic Raab or Michael Gove. We will discuss that tomorrow. Now, this would be to discuss the Keystone Premium virus, which is handy because it explains why Sir Captain Hindsight, or Keir Starmer, has been very vocal on the government's response with regards to PPE and testing delays. The government has an action plan, it's not as fast as others, and the lack of comparative action on the Keystone Premium virus compared to other nations. With Sir Keir Starmer winning, what many dubbed to be the hard left, or momentum most notably, no longer hold much power within the party, even less now that Corbynite Richard Bergen lost the deputy leadership to Angela Rayner. Now, Jeremy Corbyn has congratulated via tweet. In an article I link below, it references that momentum will hold him to account, but actually on his Twitter there is no mention of this. And it's not mentioned in a Facebook post either. As a brief rundown of who Sir Keir Starmer is, he became an MP in 2015 for St Pancras and Holborn, after spending most of his year in the criminal prosecution service. He is an ardent anti-monarch person, which makes him becoming a knight quite interesting. He was, for the last 2 to 3 years, Shadow Brexit Secretary, and actually I would argue the best opposition against the government, because he at least had a position on it. Since he's been selected, he has also got a new Shadow Cabinet, with some new faces and some retaining their seats, and I thought it right we go through those, because there have been accusations he would make a Blairite cabinet. I don't think it is right or fair for somebody who has just got the job to already be compared to someone like Tony Blair. It should be noted, Tony Blair was highly charismatic, Keir Starmer is not. Tony Blair was a huge ass-kisser. I've yet to see proof that Keir Starmer is, since he was opposed to quite a lot of Corbyn's policies. So to the cabinet. Lisa Nandy, competitor in this contest, is the new Shadow Foreign Secretary. Annalise Dodds is the Shadow Chancellor. Taking over from Diane Abbott is Nick Thomas-Symonds as Shadow Home Secretary. Rachel Reeves is the Shadow Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster. Jonathan Ashworth retains his seat as Shadow Health Secretary. Angela Smith is the Shadow Leader of the Lords. Nick Brown is the Chief Whip, who retained his spot as Chief Whip. There are other appointments yet to be announced. At present, I don't believe Rebecca Wrongdaly will in fact get a seat within this cabinet. But if Keir Starmer wants to stay true to his claims of trying to find a way to unite the party, which I don't believe any leader has ever done or can do, especially when you get to a reasonable size, it would be right to assume the best he can do is appeal to a majority within his party, while letting those that had power and lost power slip back into the shadows to attempt to rebuild. With this, with Sir Keir Starmer winning and so on and so forth, I'm very much interested to know what you think. So please do let me know in the comments down below. As a final thing, I'm streaming on Omegon Plays tonight. I have linked it down below if you're at all interested in joining for some casual driving game shenanigans.